Hello and welcome everyone. Today is a new day and we are starting with a new video which is the Salvatore for the ISC students. I am Reshmi Mukherjee. You get all the videos, English topics, language and literature of ISC, ICSE and CBSE. So today we are going to do Salvatore. Today is day 2 of it and we are going to start with that. If you have not followed the day 1 part, which is the first portion of Salvatore, I'll attach it somewhere on top, and without any delay let's begin, so that we can I can guarantee that you will understand every single line from here. And if you cannot, comment section is there to comment over there for help. Hello everyone. So we were doing Salvatore and today is day 2 of Salvatore, and this is the ICSE to ISC topic, and we were discussing, analyzing the topic, the summary of the topic, line by line explanation, questions, and the title analysis also we were doing. So we will continue with it and carry on from the part we had left. So this was the first page that we discussed, and this is Ischia where Salvatore lived, and this is all done. So I'll attach the link somewhere on top. You can follow it and then come back over here. This is the second page that we were doing. We were talking about rheumatism that Salvatore suffered, and then again after this suffering, when he came back, he was excited that he would meet his girl, but his girl was not at all interested in marrying him. Here we had left it. Let's continue. When Salvatore went home, he found that they all knew. So the mother, the parents, everybody knew that the girl no more wanted to marry Salvatore. They could not inform Salvatore because they were worried that Salvatore would be very sad hearing it. That's why they could not inform it. The girl's father had been to tell them what they had decided, but they had lacked the courage to tell them themselves. They were, it feels bad when you have to hurt your loved one. Of course, the parents loved Salvatore. They could not inform him and make him sad. A fisherman's life, and he wept on his mother's bosom. He was terribly unhappy. Of course, this will make you unhappy. But he didn't blame the girl. He was not the one who would blame the girl. Okay, he was not the one who will blame the girl for not loving him back, for not marrying him. A fisherman's life is hard and it needs strength and endurance. So he felt that he's a fisherman, and a fisherman is known for the strength, the strength to endure the heat, the rain, the waves. So I should also have this endurance to bear this pain. He knew very well that a girl could not afford to marry a man who might not be able to support her. His smile was very sad and his eyes had the look of a dog that has been beaten, but he did not complain, and he never said a hard word of the girl he had loved so well. So you see, when you love somebody, you can never be angry on that person, whatever he does or she does. So this is a true lover, you see over here, right? He was not annoyed with the girl. He thought from the girl's point of view that, of course, how can she depend her whole life on me, because I am sick now and I cannot be strong enough to work and maybe earn a living. So that is risky for her, and so she denied. And and Salvatore accepted the denial, calmly. He did not make a scene out of it. Then a few months later, when he had settled down to the common round, so slowly, you see, time will soothe everything, so things settle down. He started working in his father's vineyard and fishing. His mother told him that there was a young woman in the village who was willing to marry her. Her name was Asanta. So this is a girl who was interested in marrying Salvatore. So his mother informed Salvatore that, you see, this girl wanted to marry you. Do you want to see her, or do you want to meet her and marry her? She's as ugly as the devil, he said. So everybody other than your lover will seem like a devil, right, to you, because you love that person. How can you just marry anybody, right? So he told that, no, I don't want to meet her. I don't think she's good looking. She was older than he, 24 or 25, and she had been engaged to a man who, while doing his military service, had been killed in Africa. So as you see, all the women, they may be engaged to a man, but that man must finish his military service before marrying. So in the same way, Asanta's husband also went for the military service, and there he died. So the marriage could never take place. She was an older lady. She was older than Salvatore, And so if Salvatore married her, she could buy him a boat of his own, and they could take a vineyard that by happy chance happened at that moment to be without a tenant. So they could take a vineyard, okay, and they could also, and Asanta could also buy Salvatore a boat that he could use because he's a fisherman. Boats are of course necessary. His mother told him that Asanta had seen him at the festa and had fallen in love with him. So during a festival, Salvatore had seen, the girl had seen Salvatore, and she had a kind of a feeling for Salvatore. She wanted to marry Salvatore. And Salvatore smiled his sweet smile and said that he would think about it. Although he is not much interested, as his mother had requested, Salvatore did not say no directly. He said, "I'll think about it." On the following Sunday, dressed in the stiff black clothes in which he looked so much less well than in the ragged shirt and trousers of every day. So he looked very good. He was very good when he was simple. When he wore those, ragged, those dirty, those muddy clothes every single day when he was working as a fisherman or in the vineyard. Even at that time, he was very beautiful. He looked very handsome. Simplicity is the thing that gives him the beauty. Okay, so he on Sundays he used to wear the stiff black clothes and dress up properly for the church. So he visited. He went up to the high mass at the parish church and placed himself. This is the parish. This is the picture that you see beside is the parish church, and placed himself so that he could have a good look at the young woman. When he came down again, he told his mother that he was willing. So he went there, he saw the lady. Everybody visits the church, right? So when he visited the church, he saw the lady and he came back and told his mother that, all right, I would marry Asanta. I hope this page is clear. So there is a heartbreak, and there you also see that his mother, the summary of this portion is first there is a heartbreak, and next his mother talks about another lady, Asanta, who wants to marry Salvatore, and finally Salvatore decides to marry her. Okay, coming to the next page. Well, they were married and they settled down in a tiny whitewashed house in the middle of a handsome vineyard. So they settled in a new house in the middle of a vineyard. Salvatore was now a great big husky fellow, tall and broad, but still with the ingenuous smile and those trusting, kindly eyes that he had as a boy. So as we grow old, when we suffer a number of jolts, experiences, we become very hard. Our heart becomes very hard. So we lose the simplicity in us through our experiences, because of our experiences. But he did not lose any of it. He was still mannerly. He had a very beautiful smile, that simple, ingenuous, innocent smile on his face, and beautiful eyes, the beautiful manners. Asanta was a grim-visaged female. So however, on the other side, Asanta, he was not, very beautiful, what you call a beautiful lady. With decided features, she looked old for her years. She was a very, maybe hefty, strong-built kind of a lady. Her features were not that beautiful. She was looking also not very young, but she had a good heart and she was no fool. I used to be amused by the little smile of devotion that she gave her husband when he was being very masculine and masterful. She never ceased to be touched by his gentle sweetness. So, Salvatore, who was strong enough to work, and Salvatore, who was so gentle, so soft-hearted, so kind-hearted. Asanta loved both of them. And the narrator, he was also very, very fond of Salvatore and his behavior. But she could not bear the girl who had thrown him over, and notwithstanding Salvatore's smiling expostulations, she had nothing but harsh words for her. Salvatore never liked if somebody said anything bad about the girl of Grand Marina, his first love. He never accepted that. However, Asanta, who deeply loved Salvatore, was annoyed why that lady in Grand Marina had broken the heart of such a good human being. She was angry because, she loved her husband a lot. She could not accept that somebody broke the heart of his husband. So she was very much annoyed with that lady. Presently, children were born to them. So now they also have children. It was a hard life. All through the fishing season, towards evening, he set out in his boat with one of his brothers for the fishing grounds. It was a long pull of 6 or 7 miles, and he spent the night catching the profitable cuttlefish. So he spent the night catching the cuttlefish. He used to stay there on the boat because throughout the night, if you stay on the sea, you may get better fishes, the cuttlefish, which is profitable. Just like we have ilish mach, right? Hilsa, which is one which is very costly, but of course it is very tasty, and you have to, if you get one or two of that fish, you can earn a lot of profit. Then there was a long row back again in order to sell the catch in time for it to go on the early boat to Naples. So then you have to rush early morning, you have to rush back with your cuttlefish and deliver it fast, because fishes are best when it is served fresh. At other times, he was working in his vineyard from dawn till the heat drove him to rest, and then again when it was trifle cooler till dusk. So he used to work day in and day out. In the morning, he used to, maybe sometime when there is cuttlefish, he used to go for that. When he did not have to go for that, he worked in his vineyard. Then again, when it was hot, he came back. He rested. Again, he went back to the work. Often his rheumatism prevented him from doing anything at all, and then he would lie about the beach smoking cigarettes with a pleasant word for everyone, notwithstanding the pain that racked his limbs. However, the pain was racking his limbs or bothering his limbs a lot. He did not complain about anything. He had a smiling face always, and when he could not work at all because of his rheumatism, he used to take rest lying on the beach. The foreigners who came down to bathe and saw him there said that these Italian fishermen were lazy devils. So the foreigners who came there, they did not know anything about Salvatore's sickness. They just saw a fisherman lying down in the middle of during the afternoon, which is work time, and they used to feel that okay, these Italian people, they will never work. They are very lazy. Sometimes we comment, we don't know the history, and then again we comment. So the Italian fishermen are not always very lazy. Okay? Sometimes, I hope till this much is very clear to you. There are very little portions left, so we will finish this today itself. Sometimes he used to bring his children down to give them a bath. So now this is a very sweet thing. He used to take his children for a bath. They were both boys, and at this time the elder was 3, younger less than 2. They sprawled about at the water's edge, stark naked. They were not wearing any clothes. They are very young. And Salvatore, standing on a rock, would dip them in water. So he used to take hold of each baby and dip them in water for a bath. The elder one bore it with stoicism. So the elder one, he was wise enough. He knew that his father, and brave also, he knew that his father would do no harm. So he was very stoic, that means very calm and quiet when this thing happened. But the baby screamed lustily. So the baby did not know anything about it. So he was afraid, and he started screaming. So Salvatore had enormous hands. His legs of mutton, coarse and hard from constant toil, constant work, he became very strong. His hands were very strong, hefty. But when he bathed his children, holding them so tenderly, drying them with delicate care, upon my word, they were like flowers. It seemed that although his hands were so strong, fishermen, they're very strong. Hands are very strong and hefty, hugely built. But when he was taking care of his children, when he was bathing them and he was wiping them, it seemed that these hands were not strong. They were like flowers, as soft as flowers. He would seat the naked baby on the palm of his hand and hold him up, laughing a little at his. So before we move to the next page, this is the picture where he used to work in the sea, and then again during rheumatism, and when the pain was extreme, he used to lie down on the beach like this. I hope you have seen it, and we'll move to the next page, the last portion. So he used to laugh at the smallness. He used to take the baby in his palm, and he used to laugh at the smallness. I am so huge, and there is this tiny baby on my hand. And his laugh was like the laughter of an angel. His eyes then were as candid as a child's. So we understand the simplicity in him. He used to derive a simple happiness from that baby itself, from that innocence of that little one. I started by saying that I wondered if I could do it, and now I must tell you what is it that I have tried to do. What I tried to do? Why did I use that first sentence? Remember, I wondered if I could do it. So what is this that he was trying to do? whether I could hold your attention for a few pages while I drew for you the portrait of a man, just an ordinary fisherman, who possessed nothing in the world except a quality which is the rarest, the most precious, the loveliest that anyone can have. So initially I thought this is no story, this is no ghost story, no story with suspicion, no story with a lot of climax. Nothing is there. It's just about a simple man, about his simplicity, his goodness. So will it be interesting to the audience? Will it be interesting to the readers? I doubted at that time. But heaven only knows why he should so strangely and unexpectedly have possessed it. Nobody knows how he had such a wonderful character, such a wonderful behavior, from where he possessed it. All I know, nobody taught it, no? He was not taught manners in school. All I know is that it shone in him with a radiance that if it had not been unconscious and so humble, would have been to the common run of men hardly bearable. So, people could not perhaps bear this thing, this immense goodness in him. And it seemed that he was not even aware that he was good, and he was just good. And in case you have not guessed what the quality was, I will tell you. Goodness, just goodness. See, even goodness, to be good is also a difficult thing. Don't think that only going to war is a difficult thing, and if you go to war and die, and there will be a story based on you or autobiography of yours. Even when you are good, being good in this world where everywhere there is negativity and sadness and pain and suffering, being good on this planet, doing good to others like this without even thinking about it, is something which is huge, which is great. And you can, of course, become a character of a story, the main character of the story, or the story itself, just like this one. So, of course, the author has done a wonderful job, and we are amazed at the goodness of a common fisherman. Okay, he is uncommon in that common crowd, right? There are so many people, so many fishermen, so many people, but he can be distinguished from all the others, and he becomes a role model for many. Okay, so here we come to an end to our topic today, and this is the simplicity of Salvatore. As you can see, the simplicity of this boy. And so that's all we have for today. Thanks for watching this video, and I'm so glad that you have followed me till the end of it. And yes, I would request you to like, subscribe and share, and don't forget to do it, because it is a lot of, this makes me glad to see you subscribing to my channel, hitting the like button, right? So that's all. Hope to meet you in my next video. Stay tuned, and I will see which topic I can bring next. Thank you. Bye-bye.